Okay, time to tackle the last singular movie that I need to talk about, which is Creed, the sequel/slash spin-off to the other Rocky movies, even though I feel justified in calling it a sequel, given how much they bring back moments from the other movies, if you've seen them all right. So I was actually relieved to find out that Stallone actually appeared in the movie a lot more than it seemed like it was suggested that he did, because the trailer indicated that while he would be in there, he would have more of a back seat. Turns out all he really did was go from number one guy to number two, pretty much, because even though Michael B. Jordan's girlfriend is in the movie a good amount, she's not in there too much, and is more there just to give a little bit more positives to Michael B. Jordan's character, because at the beginning of it, let's face it, he's going nowhere, even though he does have the ability to do it. And this did kind of hit home for me, because I'm in about the same age group that Michael B. Jordan's character was, or the stage in life, whatever you want to call it, because age groups are kind of a little loose and not really appropriate in this day and age, yeah. So some of the struggles that he's going through about trying to find his place in there, I identified with that, just like I identified with some of Stallone's moments from the other Rocky movies, yeah. And then all the dynamics and bondages and bits that go between Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone, they really hit home, because, like, even though these two didn't know each other for the longest time, they eventually get to a point where they know each other like the back of their hand, and just, whoa. Just a very nice relationship there. It proves that Stallone still got it, even though he doesn't do that much in the production credits. Like, I don't even think he got the tag of executive producer, because I'm pretty sure he wrote at least 5 of the other movies. I'm trying to remember, but I can't right now, yeah. And sorry that I don't remember Michael B. Jordan's character's name, just that I've watched too many movies, so I can't remember the name of everyone, you know? Right. And how do I feel on this movie felt in terms of like the feel of it? It doesn't have like the timeless feel that a couple of the other movies did, like the first one, third one, fourth one, because given how much of filmmaking has changed from when they made the fifth one, I know the sixth one is part of the series, but it's easier to justify going back to that origin point from A to B. Given how much filmmaking, America as a whole, and then our youth or young adults are growing up, you kind of had to change stuff to properly reflect it, and that's one thing that the Rocky movies are trying to do, reflect what was going on in Stallone's life and other things around him at the time, you know, so although it's not as effective as the other movies, this was a just representation of the society that Rocky and Michael B. Jordan were living in, so it accomplishes it. So I was pleased to see that. And the fights, yeah, they were pretty brutal. I felt like I was in there, and some of the camera angles that they got in there, I was real darn impressed by, because if there were camera breaks in some of those fights that I didn't see, they did a good job of hiding them. I really would be surprised to hear if a couple of those fights were done in just a couple of takes, because I'm sure that for like at least the fourth and the sixth movie, they had to do all kinds of reshoots and that kind of thing, even though a good amount of the boxing in those movies were for real. Yeah, when I learned that, I was like, oh man, what's his face? Draco was doing to them, just, God, that's just amazing, yeah. Other things to mention for this movie. Well, I'm sure I could go on, but at the same time, if you've watched the movie, I'm sure you can imagine what was going through my mind. I felt like this was a very good addition to the Rocky movies, even though it really wasn't needed. And my thoughts on them making a sequel to this movie, I'm backing it up, but I do feel like they might really want to consider throwing the towel for this franchise again, because the thing about this is that it's on a very fragile playing field, because each movie will appeal to a huge amount of people with its big messages, and we'll have a lot of people, comparing them to various things that are going on that came out totally wrong, I know, but like, appeals to a good amount of people, will be heard big time, and if it disappoints, like Rocky 5 did and Rocky 6 did to many people, even though it did get positive reviews, I know there are people who state that it's not a good movie. It just, people lose a lot of hope in it. And then it's real tough to recover. Now, I feel like it recovered, but many people will feel like it won't. And I know that there's people out there who don't like this movie, and I'm sure that they have fairly just reasons as to why they don't like it, because I'll be honest, I do agree in that the 20 years later sequel bit is a little bit overblown, with all the Die Hard, Indiana Jones, and they're making a fifth one. How could they make a fifth one? Scream, even though that's more of a spin-off TV show, you guys get the idea. I'm sure you can continue the list. Right, so, I do think it'll do good, but I definitely think that they should try and throw this towel in, yeah. So, when am I going to write the movie? That's tough, because I think if I was to rewatch the other movies, I'd probably change my rating table for it, because a couple of them, like Rocky 4 maybe, I am not really too sure on if my rating system was just there, so until I change it, I think I'm going to have to call this 4 out of 5, and then where part of me ranks on the overall franchise. I'm going to put it pretty much right at the same level that a 2 is, so I think that the overall order is 6, 3, 1, 2, Creed, 4, 5, right. I think that's what the order is, yeah. Well, I got this out of the way, didn't I? And yeah, I'm totally picking this movie up, I just haven't done it yet.